Well, hello everyone. It's a late Saturday stream. Why do I do later Saturday streams? Well, it hopefully will allow some West Coasters to be a little bit more involved in the streams. Speaking of West Coasters, there we go. There's a West Coaster.
Hey, what's up?
I see no virtual background on Brad there. I see a green drape. I don't know if he's turning it on or he's going that way. Give me a thumbs up if you want me to bring you in. Okay.
Are we live?
We are live.
We are live. Maybe we're just going to do this then. I didn't realize we were live. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we are live. I didn't know if you were going to put the virtual background up or not. That's why I was like, okay.
Well, I'm as you know, I'm rebuilding my computer, so I got my laptop set up here.
Oh.
See, I tried to go a little bit later. Last week, I think we went really late as well, or a couple weeks ago. It was really late. But I figured that this allows people on the West Coast and Mountain Time and stuff like that to be a little bit more involved, right? Because when we go at 8, Todd's cooking dinner like every time.
Yeah.
Without
driving home from work.
Or
Only Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays.
All the stream nights.
Well,
so you got to eat. Man's got to eat. You know what can you say? So I figured I would, go on here and see what was up with everybody tonight. There's Carl. Hey, Carl.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, Carl?
Hey, Carl.
What are we doing?
You got all the kiddos in bed already?
I hope to God they stay there. You guys know how that works.
Oh yeah, for sure. The man, I'll tell you what, it's getting close to spring. It doesn't feel like spring, but it's getting close for us. So it's kind of interesting to see how the winter comes in and we're all like, it's winter. And we're glad to see winter. But then it gets to a point that we're ready to get back at it, right? And I'm kind of ready to get back at it right now. So Brad's still got a bunch of time.
I'll tell you, I got some time. Although, it's kind of crazy. Winter seems so long here, and it is long, but it always seems to come down to March, April, and then it's, I didn't get all my winter work done. Is you just think winter's going to go on forever.
Well, I went out today to Costco, and as I'm walking around Costco, I'm thinking, man, I got so much stuff I could be doing. Boxes put together, frames that could be waxed, and then, what do you guys think as far as what's too early to re-wax frames? Is there a time that you just...
I don't think it's too early. I don't think there is a time it's too early. I've done it in October a lot, and that works well.
Because I hear some people say that, if you do it too early, then you got to refresh the wax with like a blow dryer or something ahead of time.
No, it's not been my experience. They're fine.
Well, cool. So we're up to 24 viewers right now, which is usually this, I think, is a little bit more intimate setting because all of us East Coasters, except for like me and Carl, the night owls here,
yeah, really.
have gone to bed, So
I was starting to debate that. I was like, I'm getting bored here now.
I was laying in bed watching a show called Strange Inheritances or something like that.
There he is.
Still not a good.
Hey, like you got cheesies next to you, so that makes it all good.
I got the cheesies. Definitely got the cheesies here. So you're getting to see all the bad and ugly here tonight. I didn't think this was alive. You just sent me a thing, and you got to warn a guy.
And you jump in and
jump in. When I hit the link, I thought, what's the chance of? Nah, he wouldn't do that. Yeah, no, I know he would.
Who do you have to impress?
I got bored. I started watching 16 Candles.
You must have been really bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie, though.
Wow.
What's the best line of that movie. I can quote it.
Fresh breath is the oh God, what did he say in that card downstairs?
See, this is really going to tell us
fresh breath is the priority of my life.
Really? Mine is Donger say no more Yankee, my Yankee.
Brad's playing with the background. I love it.
I just want to make it look a little nicer.
I'm surprised that virtual background works so well with just the green screen, like right behind you.
Yeah, I actually got that green screen for like Zoom and whatnot, but this program seems to handles it pretty good. Except you can see when the AI doesn't recognize some things. It like Todd. Sometimes Todd is just a head floating in the middle of the room,
floating around.
Yeah. I see you've upgraded the place, Todd. That looks nice. Got the grand piano.
It's got the best double white on the market there with the
yeah.
I just dumped it.
I look like I'm way down the hall. I'm so small here. I didn't even wear. I just got my shop shirt on today.
Yeah, you look like you're in a high school, actually.
I look like I'm. Yeah, well, I guess. Yeah.
James says it's -38 where he's at, and it's going to get colder yet. So.
Yeah, it's 28 here now. It's been going down all evening.
So I watched this thing, not about bees, but the inheritance. So this lady,
Todd and I are together.
Oh, there we go.
In the exact same spot.
Yeah.
The garbling a bit.
Yeah.
And they had and I'm bringing this up because there's so many Canadians in the chat right now. So there's this guy or this family inherited their dad's cello. He was a concert cellist. And in the 1950s, he spent $100,000 on a Stradivarius cello, right? Now, $100,000, keep in mind, the average house price was $18,000. And he bought a $100,000 cello. And when he passed away, they had this rare cello that was like 300 years old, right? And so they were going to auction it off. But they wanted somebody that would play it. They didn't want somebody that was going to buy it, put it in a vault. Oh, there went Brad. Well, so what happened is this Canadian billionaire bought it and then lent it to this Canadian cellist to play. So they never said, they said it went for quite a bit more than the 6.8 million that the starting bid was at.
Oh, yeah.
But they wouldn't disclose how much the cello was worth. So, and there was a guy in Ohio that was cleaning out his grandmother's attic and found all these old ball cards with Honus Wagner and Ty Cobb, and I mean hundreds and hundreds of them, right? Because his granddad owned a meat market and he sold something there, and it was a promotion. When you bought it, you got the card, whatever. But he had like boxes of leftover ones that were like brand new out of the pack. So, you know, we're sitting there thinking, why can't that stuff happen to us? You know,
you want to hear a baseball card story? So when I was a kid growing up, my mom saved a lot of stuff from her dad's personal effects. And one of them was a little like cigar tin or a cigarette tin that you open it up and they'd have baseball cards in them.
Yeah, tobacco.
So I remember as a kid playing with them, and I'd
tobacco
pull these
tins.
cards.
That's right.
The what?
Tobacco tins. They were.
Yeah.
Bob
So
hit that. Yeah.
I'd pull those cards out and I'd start looking at them, and one of them was Cy Young, and it was in good shape. It was an old card, and I used to just look at it and I put it back in. Well, one day, my mom, and this was after high school, my sister was in college, and she came home and asked my mom, "Hey, you know, I remember these old baseball cards. Do you want them? I mean, you know, they were grandpa's." "Oh, no, go ahead." So she took the Cy Young card, which was in really good shape, and gave it to her boyfriend at the time. Gave it. I looked it up. That freaking card was worth $16,000 at an auction. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And then she broke up with the guy like a couple of months later.
Well, he got what he wanted. He got the card and was like, I'm out.
Man,
then there was
that card's worth.
There was a story in Lincoln, Illinois, I think it was. He was kind of, it was a family farm situation where he. Oh,
wait a minute, Bob. Wait a minute. It was not Cy Young. It was Honus Wagner.
Honus
Wagner. Yep. I'm sorry. I got it mixed up.
And they had so this guy has this farm in Illinois, and he's kind of it's a family farm, and he's the only child, and his parents both pass away as he gets older, and so he's got this farm, and he's kind of a hoarder in this farm, right? And he gets kind of paranoid to where he thinks his aunts and uncles are trying to basically take control of the estate. So anyway, long story short, he had 2 TV shows that he really liked to watch. One was a show that was limited run in like 1977 called Lucan, right? And then another one was about a boy that was raised by wolves, okay? And then there was one where the actor was on, I think, Days of Our Lives or something, right? So he writes his will and leaves his estate to his friends, the actor from Lucan and the actor from Days of Our Lives. And I think, just random, those actors never met the guy, and got a 165-acre farm. And I think total it came up to like 1.2 million. Or 1.3. They got like $650,000 a piece for a show that, like, the guy was a doorman at a hotel in Beverly Hills, because after that show he really didn't do anything. But I'm like, my wife's like, why can't stuff like that happen to us? I'm like, because everybody we know is broke. So yeah, that's what happens. But yeah, I'm kind of chomping at the bit for spring to go ahead and kick in here and get started. And good news on the passport front. My wife got a notice that they should be done around the middle of February. At least hers. I didn't get that email at my email address. She got it. So, well, hopefully that'll all play itself out. Let me see. I'm trying to watch some of the chat here.
There's a question about, I saw it a second ago. Anybody feeding Happy tablets for winter feed?
I got them in my colony.
Yeah, I was debating on putting some pieces in. I had one hive 3 weeks ago. I opened it up. There was still a chunk in there, so I didn't pull it out. I figured it's only sugar and a little bit of treatment.
Yep.
So, and I have another 10-pack, and I was actually debating on breaking it off and not putting whole tablets in, but putting pieces in at least and let them work on it.
Let them work on it. Yeah, I've got them in mine, and I've still got plenty left. So
I'll be making an order probably in another month, Bob.
All right.
Yeah, and I see Brian's in here.
Yeah, Brian's going to be on at 11 a.m. with
Lee. Yep.
With Lee. Is that 11 Eastern? 11.
Thought it was 10 Central.
Yeah, maybe it is 10 Central. It should be 11 here.
Yeah, I saw that they listed it, but you know what? Now that you say that, they didn't specify if it was Central or if it was Eastern or what. So,
yeah, I think it just whatever it shows up on your time frame on.
It doesn't matter. He's going over to Lee's place, and Lee already sold all this shit. So,
yeah,
there's nothing left.
To be picking up an empty truck.
Yeah,
10 Central. Okay, there's Ricky. Hey, Ricky, good to see you. Thought you'd be in bed by now. So 10 Central would be 11 here. So, but yeah, just I'm ready to get back at it and see what 2024 brings, and try to do what we can, same as every year, right? Shoot for the moon, or what do they say? Shoot for the sun, and maybe you land on the moon.
Shoot for the moon and land among the stars.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Shoot for the field and land in the crap, or something like that. That'd be my. Let me see.
Yeah, no kidding. I always look forward to every year, a new challenge, another chance. You say, well, I've been keeping bees for 10 years. Well, you've only tried 10 times, right?
Right.
It's not like playing the piano for 10 years.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, we had that discussion, when you try something new and you've been doing it 5 years, well, you've only changed 5 things, right? If you've tried 5 different things. So,
well, and maybe some of us have changed a heck of a lot more than that. The problem is, if you change too many things, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what worked and what didn't work and what the problem was or what the magic solution was. So, every year you change, you have to be really careful. You change 1 or 2 things and give it another shot. And if that doesn't work, then okay, that wasn't the answer. You change something else. You change too much and you're swatting flies, You don't know what's going on. You start to exactly what we talked about before. You start to get Nicolas Cage syndrome, right? and you start to correlate things that have nothing to do with each other. Well, I changed this and this is what happened. Yeah, but you changed 10 other things too. So maybe it was one of those.
Or it could have been a combination of all of those things.
Absolutely, it could have been. But could have been, right?
Yeah, that's it. You just don't know at that point. You can't put your finger on it, right?
And that's the key. You got to know.
So Todd, what's your weather like out there?
It was cold all day. I think it was, relative, for around here, 45.
Because you knew I was going to make fun of you, right?
Yeah.
I love how you caught that.
I was going to say, how do you do it?
Yeah. It's not like Mars, but never saw the sun. It was foggy, rainy all day.
It's 0 degrees Celsius here right now. So, and I think it got up to 50. So it not real. I mean, you'll get a few bees flying, but really not much. And we got a lot of flooding here too from all those rains and winds we had last week. I mean, the rivers are all swollen and overflowed into the fields around it, which I got a good example because one of those was that spray field from the sewage plant that I was saying would be perfect. I mean, they don't really spray. It's like a drain field, but would have been perfect because they had grown a huge field of sunflower seeds years ago to put beehives on. And then after today, I was like, well, maybe it wouldn't have been perfect because my bees would have been floating away today. So let me see. -12 with a wind chill of -48 or 38, Russell says in Minnesota. So
yeah, we're in for a haul here the next 2 weeks, it looks like.
You're gonna get
cold.
No?
So
I
don't know. I had 13 inches and it was gone in 5 days. So now we're getting into actually a cold spell now where it's going to be in the teens or low to mid 20s for about a week, it looks like. So
I had a friend in Iowa told me they got 12 inches on Tuesday and another 12 inches yesterday. Let's see.
I was watching the football game earlier. It was wind chill was -27 in KC.
Yeah.
Brian says he sets goals for growth every year in different categories: products, education, event strategy, beekeeping skills, and apiary management. Well, it's definitely good to have a plan. And there's plans, and then there's good plans, and then there's plans that you wanted to have and didn't implement, right? I guess a plan is only as good as your implementation of the plan too, right? So
and you can't control what happens either sometimes, and it just goes sideways.
yeah, I mean,
You hope you can get back on that rail, but a lot of times you can't, and you just got to run with it until next year.
So I'm curious, of the 35 people watching, how many people went to watch the movie The Beekeeper this weekend? It opened.
I haven't been to the movies in 15 years, so
Me neither. And well, it's been less than 15 years, but I thought about today going to watch it, and then I didn't. So just went out to Costco, renewed my membership there, and now I have a fair comparison between Costco and Sam's, and I believe I like Costco better than Sam's.
Oh,
probably.
They were definitely more crowded for sure, but Costco seemed to have more things. At least judging by what I bought, they had more things. So
Costco works with sales too. They if there's coupons or anything from manufacturers and that, and Sam's doesn't do nothing on that end. So everybody I know up in our area that has the advantage of being able to use both, they all say that Costco comes out in the end.
well, I looked at Costco. It seemed like their sugar prices were more along the line of what you would find in a Walmart store, right? So for 50 pounds was like $38 and some change, which is, $19 for 50 pounds. So it's close to what Walmart actually runs. But if you go to buy sugar in Sam's Club, it's more expensive for the stuff there.
I know Sam's Club here. They don't even have 50 pounders, you got to buy 25s, and if you buy two 25s, you're looking at almost $44 for the two 25 pounders. It's
wow!
insane. So it's crazy. I mean, I just go over to Man Lake because it's 20 minutes away, and
Right.
I think I pay $31 for a 50 pounder there. So, and it's the cheapest I could find around here. So,
all right, 30. If you can get 50 pounds for $31,
it's not bad.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Last year was 25.75. This year, I think it's 31 something. So,
well, I mean, living that close to Man Lake, you probably go in there quite a bit then.
Yeah, I go in there and they have pallets of boxes, and you have to pick through them, but they're you can get good boxes. But every 2-3 weeks right now, I need supers. I go in there and I'll pick out maybe 10, 12. It'll take me an hour.
Right.
To get 10, 12 good boxes.
Because you can go right there, do you get a better deal on like frames and stuff like that, or is it still crazy?
Nope. Still same, whatever it is in the book or whatever it is. If they're running any kind of special, like right now, I don't know if they're not still running it, but if you spent $250, you got 10% off. And I went in there because they had a whole pallet out, and I spent an hour and 30 minutes there. I figured, all right, I'll get like 25 boxes. I'll get $250 and get 10% off. That way they'll end up being $11 a box. I hit like 14 boxes. I said, screw this. I can't do it anymore.
Right.
I walked out. I figured I'll pay the $13.95 is the regular price. I'll pay that just so I have boxes that aren't garbage.
Right.
And I wait 2 weeks and then I'll go back and do it again. So, but they're they had like 35 people over there working. Now they're down to like 21. So, and you think that's the Wilkes-Barre area, which is their distribution for all the way up to Maine and everything else. They're not doing what they used to do. So either that or they're doing all out of Minneapolis out there, their main facility. So they're just shipping out of here. But I know I talked to a couple of guys getting 55-gallon drums of the syrup filled. And they said, oh, no, there was like 25, 30 people in the office 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They said now there's 10, 12. In the warehouse, there was like 7 to 8 guys every day, 2 shifts. Now there's only 1 shift, and there's only like 6 guys.
Yeah, I noticed that today, Mike. They had like 3 pallets or 4 pallets of different honeys there, including Manuka honey. They had a pallet of Manuka honey from New Zealand. I actually had a lady stop today and ask for buckwheat honey here. I'm like, yeah, well, buckwheat's not really indigenous to South Carolina. I did plant some, so there are probably traces of buckwheat in some of my honey, but not enough to say this is buckwheat honey, right? So they ended up driving away. Happens sometimes. But but it's I can't fault those guys because with Costco and that, you think of like Bob Binney. Now Bob Binney doesn't necessarily send to Costco, but I know he's in some Walmart stores and stuff like that, right? So that's his whole business model. I mean, at least part of it is bottling and distributing honey. So people like Bob Binney and Ian does the same thing, right? Sells to a co-op, they blend it together, distribute it all over. Matter of fact, the Costco here had creamed honey from Canada. I think it said a product of Brazil and Canadian honeys.
Probably McCormick.
And
McCormick sells that stuff here too.
And that's the only place I had seen it here ever was today.
And the trick with that is, I'm wondering if America is the same. In Canada, if it says 2 countries, then there's more honey from the first country listed. Like, so it says, if it says Canada and Brazil, it's got to be at least 51% Canada.
I said Brazil, and then Canada was second.
Yeah, so 1 drop of Canadian honey. And literally, they do that sometimes. It's like a teaspoon in a barrel.
And just blend it and cream it. Hey, what did you think about that creaming machine that I know Lawrence from Black Mountain Honey showed it on his, and you put honey in it, and creamed honey comes out the other end, like immediately.
Really?
But I didn't get to look at the video real close.
It was like
it was a Nobby, I think they said.
I think it was at Nobby, and he said it was like $35,000.
Oh,
yeah, thing.
Well, and then Brian listed today that the winners were from Canada down there at the AFB and that. And I guess they use that machine, and they said that it just makes a world of difference, whatever it does.
Let's take Brad makes a lot of honey, right? And he sells a lot of creamed honey. And he has to take it to the packer, and the packer's a little backed up on being able to cream his honey for him. So now that puts Brad into a spot, right? But that would be a perfect thing for Brad's operation. I mean, outside of the $35,000 price tag on it.
Well, now, but is a $35,000 going to buy me anything that $1,000 unit is not going to buy me? Right? I think $1,000 unit would do me just fine.
Well, I'm just saying that as far as you scale and get bigger, that's something that, because it's so instantaneous, where you're not doing it over days and days and days, right? And it may be different for you, because I know the canola honey crystallizes really quickly, so it may not even be that beneficial for you.
Yeah, no, what? For me, it would not be something that I would use, because I don't need to cream honey that fast. I don't need to cream that much that fast.
Yeah, I know that was a big thing. It was a quick turnaround. It was real quick. I think the video I saw is you run it through, it comes out, you refrigerate it, and in 2 or 3 days you're ready to go.
It's called Cream Pal.
Yeah. Yes.
But
That's what Brian was talking about.
you figure, let's say you're paying 75 cents for somebody else to pack your creamed honey. Now maybe you're looking at 2 years return on investment on the machine, and then it's paying for itself.
You better have the volume.
How many dollars? How much money?
35,000.
35 grand. So
I would never pay for that. I would never pay for that.
you would have to be making a lot of cream honey to have that paid off.
No.
Ian would have to turn half of his into the cream honey.
Something like that, I wouldn't mind buying if I could turn it over in 1 year.
See, that's not a machine for a beekeeper, in my opinion. That's a machine for a packer.
Well, true, yeah.
Okay. Right. Because here's why I say that. Because you just said that, Todd, and I thought, you know what? That's the difference. Because you would have to have the volume that a guy like Ian has, but a guy like Ian isn't packing honey. Right? Ian's sending it in a barrel. Right? So you'd have to be the guy who's packing the honey with, you're moving 100,000 pounds of honey a year or something, and you need to cream it that fast, sort of thing. That's where I think that machine would fit in. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
35,000 for,
because you can cream honey pretty fast in a 600-pound creamer or whatever, right? Hey, Morgan.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I do a whole vat in 7-10 days. I mean, I let mine process and mix and mix and mix.
That's the difference between small scale, right? Small scale and someone that's trying to just move as much honey through it as they can, as fast as they can.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking there's 200 plus pounds in a batch. You could do that in 7 days if you let it process the way I do, just mix and mix and mix. You could actually mix it for 3-4 days and bottle it, as they say, but I let it mix better and that and try and make it a little more finer and solidified before I take it out of the tank. So,
well, I think I don't think I'll ever get to that point to where I need that type of machine, right? Ever.
But it'd be fun to think about.
Bob, I hope you do.
Yeah,
because then you'd be doing a hell of a volume in that, and if you are doing that, I hope you're happy.
I think Doug already ordered his cream honey as they do.
Probably.
Did you see that machine, Doug?
I cream my honey in 3 days.
In 3 days?
Yeah, I've seen it, but I just use my license. I'll run it for 3 days, and then I put it into my chiller.
Cool.
Also known as outdoors.
No, that's too chilly.
Today wouldn't be a chiller, it'd be a freezer.
Freeze solid.
Like we're at 17 degrees right now.
Yeah, I think I'm the winner. I'm at 45.
I just looked, we're minus 31.
Woo.
And that's minus 31C, right? So.
What's my first story with the conversion chart?
Oh, it's getting warmer. I was going to say, Doug, it ain't that cold here, but it was minus 28. It's gotten warmer. It was minus 27 now. So it's all good.
T-shirt weather.
T-shirt. See, that's why I'm wearing it. I didn't know this was alive or I would have dressed up.
We're supposed to be down to minus 2 degrees tonight here, Fahrenheit.
So, yeah, it actually, since I've been on the stream, it's gotten a degree hotter. It's 33 now here, so.
They're not even walking on lakes here, so we're warm.
I just watched Kansas City playing football, minus 7 Fahrenheit there.
It's 7C here, so that's 45 degrees. But why, if I put in minus 35, if I put in minus 35C, it comes out to minus 31F. That
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Why don't you do what everybody else does? Just ask Alexa.
Well, minus 40 is the same, C and F. So
Well, that's true.
it starts to even out.
Yeah.
It's basically.
Oh, it's a Canadian company, the Cream Pal.
Who is that?
It's they're called Cream Pal, and they're in Quebec.
Was that Canadian money so we can get it cheaper?
So 35K would be what?
It says it's 90% faster.
Yeah.
Creaming.
Yeah, but 35
They
grand.
got a video. We can watch it. Let's see.
Don't they grind it and then cool it and then grind it again and then bottle it?
You got me. Let's see here. If I can add it, let's blow it up and see what it says. Of course, I got mine muted, so I can't. So this is the machine, evidently.
Looks impressive.
Fancy roof grinder.
You'd have to put a whole tank on the top for that thing.
So you feed liquid honey into that?
Yep, liquid honey in the top and creamed honey comes out the bottom down here.
Boy, I'd have to see that.
Looks like it has about a 5 horsepower motor on it.
Is it going to show something other than it spinning around in a circle here? Let's
I'm
see.
waiting for Vanna White to
I
jump.
know, it looks impressive at least.
Maybe they have it on YouTube. Show.
Smooth and stable creamed honey. Look, they have financing available
For that price, you
Of
better.
course they do.
from
$35,000.
someone out of the States there. Video. Okay, here we go. Let's watch the one where they're putting. Nice and pump.
That's a hell of a vat.
Yeah, no
You have to
joke.
have a heck of a refrigerator.
Oh, wow.
Isn't this new Yankee Workshop music?
I used to watch that show, Brad.
Norm's an icon.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it is.
So, how would you flavor it with that?
Well, it looked like that last batch may have been flavor.
Well, there was a guy. He had some dark honey, and he showed me his creamed honey, just honey, and it come out that color.
I mean, most of mine comes out darker like that anyway, but
If I got mine to come out white, it's because I whipped it too much and then it turns into marshmallow cream. You know?
Hi, Joel from Cream Pal. Welcome. Today I'll be showing
Sounds
you
like Alex.
Our process of doing our cream
He's
honey
from the Yukon.
format.
nah, he has too much hair.
Honey that we have in our
Yes, you go.
and the further video will show you off stuff directly from the bigger tank. But just to make it simple, we'll show you how fast it is to make the cream honey. And right now I'll be showing you just the first pass, how quickly the cream honey is transformed and the liquid honey is transformed into cream honey. So here we go. So first of all, we'll be putting in the liquid honey, and we put in about 10% of our seed into our honey.
That's an accident waiting to happen right
I
there.
thought he was going to wear that bucket.
He'd done that once or twice.
Yeah, he's got a very scientific measurement there.
I'd have stuff all over the damn place.
Put a whole 5-gallon pail in there and 2 scoops of cream honey.
You know, if that machine costs that much, why don't they put like a little hook there where you can hang a bucket?
It should come with
That's
a
just
person to
but
scrape
that's
that bucket out.
Yeah, really.
I don't know.
Did you
That's
notice that it has like
35,000
that? It has a hydraulic pump almost like on it, like a ram. You can see the way it's pushing it up and down. It's I don't know if that it adds to the agitation or something, but I noticed that.
There we go.
Let's.
Those
right
are
on.
3-gallon pails, right?
I think
No, that's a full size pail. It looks like.
That's 5-gallon pail.
Is that why it looks so
Yeah.
skinny?
Look at him. He's on a box.
But still,
Maybe it's him. Maybe it's the size of
He's-
him makes it look small. But
got King Kong hands then.
But when they're not really telling you the machine is $35,000, then you need a cooling unit, then you need a license pump, and then you need a filling machine because that'll be so thick it will not come out of a bottling tank.
yeah.
Wow.
And like I said, if you look at that motor that they have there, that's a 5 horsepower motor at least. That's a heavy duty
The
motor.
machine
That's
is full because we're going to see the little bubble just shortly.
I wonder if that's an auger in there or if that's like a.
the way it's coming up. It looks like a ram almost, Bob. You know what I'm saying?
Secret.
If it was an auger, it would take it down like a steady flush.
Well, the Chinese have already ordered it and disassembled it to make another one.
Well, it looks like an auger. Look what's flapping around down there.
Now it does. Now it does. Yeah.
So you can just buy a
I
license.
think it's like an
They
auger,
can
but it
listen
has
to it
fingers.
though.
So we just finished putting our seed in. And like we mentioned to some of you, after all the ingredients are in, whether it's regular cream, fruit honey, cinnamon, or maple like we've had, or if you have other types of products you're going to be putting in, this is when you're going to be already have put everything in. So everything is put in. We let it mix for 1 minute. Like right now, this is our regular cream honey. So after everything is filled up, we're going to be almost ready just to empty it out. The machine does the whole work. So we're ready to empty it out.
You know, almost looks like it's a grinder system almost.
After a minute, it's already to empty in pails, and this will be put into the refrigerator for 24 hours. Then it's going to be repassed and packed there, and that will show you in a later video that we'll be doing right after to show you just a second pass of the cream honey there, second time, and you're going to be seeing the honey and which color it comes out and which color comes out of the refrigerator and just going through the machine. So normally you'll see it's about 4 to 5 minutes to fill the machine and about 1 to 2 minutes to empty the pails out.
It looked like a swine, just like a grinder almost.
Over a week does it takes to make the honey. It's a matter of minutes to make 150 pounds or 70 kilos of honey. So you can stay tuned and catch us on our next.
Pull the lever, dude.
That would be packing, processing. Just
Yeah, watch that pail go over.
Close.
Like any of us have never done that. Well, you know, Doug's got a really good point. If you keep that thing busy, you're going to need one monster of a refrigerator, and then what do you do with it after that, right? How are you going to pack it? I don't see it. You got a machine that expensive, you got to keep that going all day long, 5 days a week at least. And you're gonna produce one huge amount of creamed honey out of that.
I wonder
You know
what.
what? It's weird, but it almost looks to me like it's nothing more than, like Mike says here, an an auger spiraling. If you look at the front of that, it has the shaft from the auger would go in there. I think you spill it all in, and an auger just working back and forth is going to keep on swirling it back and forth, and then all they're doing is releasing it like he is right now.
What I wonder what's underneath in the cabinets though.
His lunch, probably.
I was looking for some kind of comment myself.
Like a 6-pack or something.
Probably his street shoes and his lunch.
So now what? He's going to pull it back. That's what he pulled out of the chiller there from yesterday.
Yeah, think about it. If it's nothing more than an auger going back and forth, it's just going to aerate it and keep working it.
As you can see, the honey
That's the lightest color.
very porous since it's only refrigerated for 24 hours.
It's going to come out lighter on the other side. You watch.
You can't defy the laws of physics, Captain.
If you're using
Pretty
pails
sure they use it for maple
process,
syrup too, right?
you dump a pail in, you let it mix a minute, and you can start packing right away. If it's a straight through process, inline process, we have our tank you see later on in other videos, where we just open the valve of the tank, it just goes through and right out the gate.
You can buy 4 of those or 1 Cowan line. Which one do you buy?
Cowan line to make you a lot more money.
Yeah. Blue.
As you can see, the honey is dragged into the machine, and it's pushed. All the air is pushed out, so you won't have the air into your honey. Like a lot of the crystallized cream do.
Like that air?
Yeah. Well, I was in there to me.
It's coming out the other end, though, so.
It's coming out both ends, Brad.
Coming out both ends.
That's a bad day.
That's curry honey. It's coming out both ends.
In and out of the machine.
That'd be me with my toast there.
Fill in a cone there.
You're going to see, I'll just let the bubble go. You'll be able to see directly how white it becomes in a matter of seconds.
Wow.
So it's extremely fast. So just to show you again one more time.
See, mine only gets as light as what's in there right now.
So it's still a
color
2-day
is very,
process.
very white.
It's not like I mean, I guess it's still faster than using the KitchenAid, but I mean, it's 100 times as expensive.
If you want to, right now,
Yeah, exactly.
and pails,
And it's not 100 times faster.
To fill up your packing line, normally we jump into a tank, which is we'll pump up for our little packing line. But for people that want to pack right off the machine, I'll just show you that it's very easy to manage. We'll be filling up 500-gram jars, about 1.1 pound jars, just to show you how easy it is.
Bob, the consensus is you need to buy this already.
I already have it. That's why I brought you all in here tonight. No,
Yeah.
I financed it today. You have to sell 1,000 bottles a month to pay for it.
Oh, holy cow. With something elaborate as that, you're going to be taking the time to pour one bottle at a time?
Well, he's doing it for the video. He's got the Swente table rotator deal.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's nothing more than an auger, aerating it. Viscosity of the honey, the aerating it and getting the color and that. I think that's all it is, but you'd have to have one to see what the internals are of it.
I I know this guy up in Pennsylvania that does stainless steel work. We can have him manufacture some.
Yeah, I know a couple guys too, but until
I'm
you
talking
have,
about you.
I still want to know what's in those cabinets.
I don't think there's anything in that cabinet. I think
I
it's
think
all for
he's
show.
pumping. I think what he's doing is he's pumping cream honey from underneath in that cabinet out of that nozzle.
Well, according to Bob, the lines in that cabinet go right up to Pennsylvania, and I'm creaming honey here, and they're pumping it down there. For 35 grand, I could probably run the line.
I think the honey he poured in there went down into the cabinet, and then the other half had the creamed honey that he's pumping out now.
There you go. There's a 5-gallon pail. He's pumping it out of there to make it look good.
Give me your 35K,
Our
please.
cream honey
Yeah.
just need to put in the
30
refrigerator another 24
See,
hours.
Matt's about to cut. My
you said,
honey's about that
35K, I
color.
still a couple of them way ahead. I'll be out of the country.
It'll be ready
Yeah.
for the stores in a few days.
But it's
Thank you
still
very much for watching.
3 days.
Stay tuned for other videos on cream honey.
All right, so there you go.
Interesting.
I'll be right back.
I do
Yeah.
600. I do 600 pounds in 3 days. That Lyson machine we've got, it holds pretty well a barrel. I'll run it for 3 days, and it's about the same consistency as that. And I keep the machine running because then if I didn't, it would set up too hard. I couldn't pump it with our bottling machine. So at the end of 3 days, bottle it. I've got a big deep freeze with a Ronco thermostat on it. It's set at 55, 56 degrees. Sits in there overnight and it's ready for market.
So it looks like they have a couple different models of that same machine. Maybe a $35,000 variety and a $25,000 variety. I don't know. That's out of my league. So, and I mean, from what you're saying, Doug, you can cream it just as fast as that machine then.
I'm doing it
Because
in
it's
3
saying
days. Yeah.
basically 3 days, right? I mean, they're saying you run the honey through the first time, then you put it in the chiller, then you bring it back the second day, you run it through again, and then you can immediately jar it, but you have to put it back in the chiller. And, so it's still 3 days.
It's all about the mixing, really. Like
You're
Doug
muted.
said, 3 days. I always let it go 7 days, and then I start mixing in my flavors and that. But that's because I don't have the time. But like Doug said, though, after a couple days, it mixes and it distributes the crystals. It's set. You could bottle it. I mean, right at that point.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not. And then it's all down to letting it set up and everything. Whether you put it into a fridge or whatever you do with it, over time it'll set itself up. So you're paying a lot of money for. Now I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of magic we don't know about it, but I don't see the big difference. So
There's the color mine is, and that's from. I'll get a glare off of the light here, but try to get that turned a little where not so bad. It's hard to with this light.
Yeah, yours is Elmer's
There-
blue.
There's a label, so you see it right up against the white label. But try to get, like I said, try there. That's better.
Yeah, it's good and light.
And that's just out of the KitchenAid for a few days. Well, that one probably, I probably mixed it before work and after work every day for about 5-6 days. And then probably could have done it more than that just after I got work. I just got lazy after work.
Whenever I look at a website and they have equipment on it and they don't put the price on it, I automatically assume it's too rich for my blood. If you have to
ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But that's a neat piece of equipment, I guess.
That's pretty cool.
Doug, how many thousands of pounds are you creaming in a year?
This year I did, I think, 4,600 pounds of cream. And probably going to be out by the time the snow goes.
That's
Do
a
you have the same ladies coming over and buying 6 or 7 buckets from you?
We have quite a few ladies that buy a lot of honey. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, if it sells, it sells. That's what you go with.
The price sugar is, it might be a lot of it selling.
Yeah, Brian's talking about the judgment. Well, Brian was down at the show. I'd be curious. The couple that won the show down there at AFB, I believe it was. They auctioned them off, and they made a nice profit for the organization. Very nice. So I think that's negative 34C. So, but I guess they were saying that they got 100 out of 100 on the testing from the judges, which is pretty much the first time they ever gave that. So
using that machine.
I believe that they somebody, I don't know if that's where it came from or what I saw it. I can't say for 100%, Bob, but I think that they were using that machine, but I'm not sure. I can't say that. But I know they were from Canada, and they won everything down there, and they did a great job with it. And he's out of British Columbia.
I spent that kind of money on a machine and didn't win, I'd be upset.
If I spent that kind of money on a machine, I wouldn't care if I won anything, as long as it was selling like crazy.
Right.
If I spent that much money on a machine, I'm probably not entering the competition.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
Just sell.
And I'm already making enough money. I don't have to worry about a honey show down in the U.S. You know, I'm selling enough without the show.
Bragging rights are bragging rights, man.
Brian, I didn't read your post. I read somebody else's post, actually, to see if they won. I saw you posted something about it.
Let's see.
I'm not sure we could use the same machine with different flavored honey. Our inspector kind of frowned on that when we were asking about it.
Well, that's the other thing. The guy made the statement on that video, you would add your flavoring in while it's mixing right then, right? So then you'd have to clean that machine between every run. You couldn't just run off of, well, you could run it off into the bucket the first time, mix your flavoring in it, and then close it up. But yeah, you'd have to run a large batch of one flavor, tear the machine down, clean it up, put it back together, make sure there's no peanut flavoring in there. You know, if you're doing peanut butter or something like that. And then, yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting piece of machinery. I mean, it's glad to see innovation either way, you know. Just outside of my realm of business there right now. And even if it was, I would still go with the regular creamers first, right? And how did you get a creamer? I mean, what size creamer did you get from Lyson, Doug?
It's their big one. I'm not sure how many liters they have, but it'll pretty well take a full barrel when I pump it.
Wow.
Well, that's
about 600 pounds we get out of it.
it's a pretty big one. I don't think Better Bee offers that. You have to order it from
direct from Lyson,
or at least
through
Lyson via Better Bee or something.
You could use that. Well, like Doug set up, if you wanted to buy that machine, all you have to do is set that machine up higher than his mixer or creamer, and then you pour directly into the creamer and flavor it there, and then have to wash out the creamer, and then keep doing different flavors. That's a pain. But I think Doug's correct. His machine does the same thing. It just in a different way, in a different time frame.
Well, it doesn't even seem like it's that much difference if you got to run it through the machine over and over again, right? You got to run it twice and then put it in the chiller twice.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know. Interesting.
I wonder how hard that machine is to clean up, though.
Yeah. You got to fill it.
They send a guy to do it.
For 35
Maybe that guy's in the cabinet.
There you go.
That's what's in the cabinet. That's a good point.
It comes with the cleaner, and he's
Cleaning crew is in the cabinet.
You notice he was standing on the box, so he could probably fit in there. Now that you say it, Todd.
Yeah, maybe that's him.
You press the button, the doors swing out, he comes crawling out.
They should market it with automatic cleaner. Then
buy that machine, you get 2 Caymans in the box.
Oh dear!
You add 40 grand to the price tag, make it 40 grand, then you got a deal.
35,000. You probably don't clean it out. You probably just keep it poor and steady.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug, you're probably right.
You'd have to.
I think Brad hit that right on the nose. That would be for a packer, so it was running almost daily. You just keep it running.
Well, I mean, you look at the price of a Cowan line, you run that for a couple of weeks, a year, and it's done. Right? So.
Yeah, but a Cowan line, that's how many pounds of honey is that extracting in, say a month or 2 weeks or whatever, right?
Right.
You would need to come close to that volume. To actually, you'd have to come way over that volume to make this machine worthwhile. It would be a packer. You'd have to have a number of Ians feeding you to make that thing worthwhile, right? That's a serious packer.
Well, you look at someone like Brian that does a lot of different creamed honeys. He'd only have to do like 3,500 jars to pay for it. I mean, they're 8-ounce jars, right? They'd make the same as a 1 pound jar. So, or 7,000 if you wanted to profit in there, 7,000 jars. So yeah, it is a capital investment for sure.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw everybody talking about it.
I was saying, like that 35,000. That's one thing, but you need a really giant refrigeration. Great big walk-in, forklift-in kind of refrigerator system to match with that, because you got to keep something like that busy if you're going to put out that kind of money.
Right, that's true. I mean, if I creamed every bit of the honey that I could produce in the state legally without having to get inspected, it wouldn't be enough to pay for that in a season.
No.
And I'm not even making that much, right, as far as that. So,
no.
Years and years. But yeah, it's an interesting piece, though. I just saw everybody's videos were showing that machine because, it's a new machine, so give it some time. But
these creaming machines we have now, they haven't been out that long either.
No.
The license hasn't been?
Not that many years.
I think about 6, 5, not even that long, I don't think. I think they really started pushing them about 4 years ago.
Hilco may already have one of those new machines for like $700. We just haven't seen it yet. We just have to wait and see.
Well, he didn't have the Chinese people breaking it down and checking it out yet.
Not yet. Might be coming. You never know. Because that thing that everybody's talking about, that scale filler, I bought that last year, and it's the one he's got is identical. It's just different colors. So,
I haven't had any problem with any of my Hilco stuff so far. The one issue I got was a shipping issue, and sent me a brand new gear motor. Didn't even question it. And all I wanted was a new fan cover. The fan cover over the back of the motor was
right.
dented in, and I said to him, I said, just send me a new fan cover. Sent me a brand new gear motor and everything. I wish you just sent the cover. It was harder to change the whole thing, you know. But there was no question. Just sent a whole new gear motor. You know.
Nice.
So so far I can't say anything bad, you know.
I haven't purchased any equipment from him, so everything I bought has been licensed so far. So because the items that I like, I already had my license extractor right when he came out with the bigger extractor. Then I had the uncapper, and he doesn't have that same automatic uncapper or the semi-automatic uncapper. So I just haven't had an item that I have needed to buy from him. So he's got some things that I like, but so I think this year he came out with the like a clarifier, right? And I've been looking at clarifiers, but his isn't heated. The one that he has that I know of. So I was looking for the heated clarifier, and so again, it's something that I'm looking at that I can't get from him. So just keep looking. Maybe it'll time up eventually where when I'm looking for a piece of equipment, he's got one that fits what I'm looking for. So hopefully we can see.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that he has that pump now, and I know those pumps are $3-4 grand, and I guess his is only like $1,000 or something. I'm curious to see how the end result is with people who start using them. So
yeah, I don't know what's.
I mean, I'm not to that point yet, but I'm sure if I keep working the way I'm doing it, that I will need it in the next couple of years. So I mean, I don't know if Todd is doing a dance there or if he.
That's his chair trying to poke through there.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, so I mean, I'm not to that point either. I mean, Bob, I don't think you're to that point yet either where you're going to need a pump either. So,
well, I don't need one, but technically I don't need a 30 frame extractor, and I don't need an uncapper either. You know, so it becomes, well, you know, what's just the next thing? I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve a little bit, right? If I've got the money and can afford it, then I buy it and try to stay ahead of where I actually might have to. I don't want to be in the spot where, damn, I should have bought that last year, you know, and I could have really used it this year type of deal. But
yeah,
I think I'm a little bit ahead right now that I don't have to worry about that. But eventually, hopefully, it'll get to that point.
We had a licensed 2-inch pump just as a reserve. And last fall, when we were extracting, our big pump went down. And we had to hook that little license up. And we pushed that honey up. It goes up 15 feet and across the room into a tank. And I was impressed. That little pump kept up to our 600 frame cow and no problem at all.
Just the little one with the like the handle on it to pull it?
It's got the handle. It's a 2-inch one. It is a 2-inch pump. They make smaller ones. But I was really impressed with it.
Now, Doug, did you buy that just for that situation if you got into a pinch?
Yeah.
So it worked out perfect. So it worked out.
We thought if we had to, we could just pump into barrels if the big one went down or something. Like that's a weak part in your line. It could hold you up and stop your extracting. So I figured we'd be pumping into barrels with it, but no, it handled it quite nicely.
So saved your ass.
Yeah.
No, sometimes that's you try and look ahead and you try and, figure out that stuff and be a step ahead of it. And that, the same thing when you got mechanical stuff, you try and look at it and piece it and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep one of these on hand because if that part breaks, I'm screwed. It's not that you want to have money sitting on the shelf, but sometimes you have to. It just got to try and stay ahead of it.
Well, when you've only got about 4 weeks to do everything, you gotta be ready to fill the gaps if something comes up.
All right, so the 1.5 inch one is 2,700 US, you might as well say. And nope, that's 1.5 inch as well. So this got to be the large pump is what you must have. Yep, 2 inch. So $3,000.
Yeah, I think that's about.
Is that the license, Bob?
Yeah, that's the license. 1.5 kilowatt motor on it. I guess.
I know what Hilco came from. I know it. Usually he's got the price range. That's why I was curious what his price was.
Hilco search pump. That Hilco pump is $1,000. It's a 1/3 horsepower motor.
Yeah, how many inches is it?
Trying to see if I think it's 1.5 inch, I want to say. But it doesn't show on his description what the outlets are. And it might be 2 inch.
Pump lift 12 foot, pump head 20 foot maximum, speed 4 gallons per minute.
At 70 degrees, right?
At 70 degrees, yeah. You got a 3-year warranty. He doesn't get into depth really beyond that. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's for the price point. It's like it's surprising, and you look at that gear motor. It almost looks like the same damn gear motor as one on the extractor and the creaming.
Probably is.
So it looks like it's not him, like you were saying, but they worked with it.
That's a better price than the Max at 1 inch, isn't it?
Probably. Maxant's proud of their stuff. Let's see. Maxant.
Doug, now that you say that about the inch and that, it doesn't say what size piping, but looking at the picture, it looks like it's 1.5 inch piping.
Maxant 1 inch pump is 2,000 US.
Yeah.
And Maxant's customer service, I've called out there a couple times and asked some questions and got on with technical, and they don't mind spending a couple minutes talking to you and socializing with you and saying I would do this and I would do that, and I can't say anything about Maxant either.
Cowan is really good too.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not rich like you, Doug.
Oh.
I don't have that. Let me rephrase that. I don't have that big line. I don't have that. I'm a long ways from having a Cowan line. Let's put it that way.
We were rich till we bought the Cowan line.
Not rich anymore, right?
But if you need
your assets are just in different forms.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that last night about people that want to buy the bottling tanks and that, and I said, you listen to Bob Binney, you listen to Ian and that, they always say, what, we kick it, and then all of a sudden we make the purchase and we're like, why didn't we do this 5 years earlier? So sometimes it works out for you.
But we didn't buy the Cowan new. We had an elderly fellow retiring, so we bought his outfit out too. So we got it about 50 cents on the dollar.
Good for you.
So
that's what Jim bought, wasn't it? He went.
Yep.
Where did he go? All the way to Georgia?
No, he was down around.
He went to Mississippi and bought his line.
Yeah, but I mean, he drove all the way down there to buy that line. I don't know. Was that a Cowan line?
Yeah, it's Cowan.
Basically the same thing we got. Ours has air. His doesn't have air, but.
Does that look familiar to you there, Carl?
Yep.
So,
it looks pretty much the same. I got it on my other screen right here. It looks almost identical.
So that's the Hilco.
Yep.
And that's the license.
Besides the gearbox, the the LED controls in that mounted a little different. It looks almost identical to a T. Yep.
License is $2,500.
The only difference is the Lyson has a silver pump to make it look prettier and make it look more NSF than that, which means nothing. It's all the gearhead that has to be NSF. Yep. So
This is a, what did it say? 370 watt half horsepower motor.
So it's a little bigger pump motor too. Yep. You know what? The motor doesn't mean crap. And it has to do with, if you look at their gearbox, it has to do with the gearbox more than anything.
The gearboxes look almost identical.
Yeah, they look almost identical. I mean, it you could have a third horsepower doing the same thing as a half horsepower. It's just a matter of what you get the option from your manufacturer. So that half horsepower might be doing the same job as the third horsepower, but they gave them a price on it they couldn't refuse.
Oh, well, I just realized something, that I was presenting a tab and not the entire screen, so that kind of didn't let everybody see what I was doing. So there's the Hilco one.
Yep.
And that's the Lyson one. So look very similar. Metal box on the housing and stuff over here, and 3D printed over here.
Yeah, same theory. You still have the kill switch, just mounted a little different on the PLC.
The one thing you'll find, that operating unit, that PLC unit, they hum and they're kind of a pain in the ass to listen to.
Yeah, I agree with you. But the job they do is they ramp it up so that the amperage doesn't exceed, and it keeps the cost down and stuff like that, and it doesn't cause the stress on the motor or the gearbox and that.
Yeah, they work good.
Yeah, I mean, they do a phenomenal job, and
yeah,
I remember when they came out in the 80s when I was at the motor shop and I started learning about them, and I was like, this is beyond me, and then it just went crazy with it. I mean, you could take the cost and cut it by $1, you can cut it down to 20 cents. Just ramping it up, because you don't have that high amperage draw when you turn on the motor where it goes up to 15, 18 amps, because you ramp up the amperage. So your electric companies all charge by the amperage on high amperages. So with the PLCs, they ramp it up nice and gradually in that, so you don't have those high amperage draws, so you don't get billed those high kilowatt hours and stuff like that. So, and I didn't think it would hold up back then, but I was young and dumb, obviously. And here it turns out everything is working off that now.
yeah.
You know. So, but my God, Doug, you're right. You can be standing there and things like, and you swear that it's going to blow up sometimes. It's like, what the hell is it? I thought there was problems with it more than once, to be no joking. So.
Still working on Brad. He's got to look at that 28 frame Cowan that's coming up for sale. Charlie's got his lift, Brad.
Did he buy one or what?
Yeah, but he said he's going to buy one for over a year now. I never said I was going to buy a 28. I said it would look nice in my honey house, that's all, which is true.
So I guess if it came down to a creamer, all right. So let's do this. Where is it at? So if you were going to spend $35,000,
oh fuck!
All right.
Where were you going there, Brad? I thought you were going to really go off for a second.
Mark says Todd and Brad are yelling our old folks home. Yeah.
So if you're going to spend $35,000, would you buy this, the whole Lyson mini line, or would you buy a $35,000 creamer?
No contest.
The mini line will make you more money.
It'll make you a lot more money.
Yeah.
That's where I was leaning as well.
Because if you didn't have that mini line, what are you going to use to process a considerable amount of honey? Nothing. That's what you're going to do.
Right.
If you didn't have that super expensive creaming machine, and that's not a creamer because he was dumping seed in that. Somebody made seed. So guess how he made the seed? In a creamer.
Right.
If you don't have that guy's fancy expensive creamer, what are you going to use? You're going to use just a regular creamer. That's what you're going to use. And it's going to produce a lot of creamed honey for you.
So I look at this piece of equipment, and it does everything, right? So it's going to process your cappings here into the onion rings. It's going to filter the honey. It's going to extract it. So you'd still need a pump, right, to pump it out of there to your bottler or whatever, but
How's it handling the wax?
it's got the extruder, the wax extruder, where? Right here. So when it uncaps, it drops in here. The onion rings come out, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What was that round piece that had the hexagonal windows
That's
in
the
it?
extractor.
No, next one.
That's the
That.
extractor closed.
Oh, okay.
So that's open, close.
Gotcha.
But so far, that's the least expensive full line that I've seen.
Yeah, but the Lyson doesn't have a cabinet for a helper to hang.
Right. Yeah, you'd have to do it yourself.
So you got to have somebody else.
Bob, you got it up there. What is Lyson going for their creaming machine? I'm just curious because I'm looking at the one that I bought is $12.49 from Hilco.
The 18-gallon
I
is 16.
do have the Lyson one too, the bottling one, the heated bottler.
That's the attachment, right? That's just the attachment.
Yeah, that's just the attachment.
21 or something for the 18-gallon heated.
That's the unheated.
Because I got the bottler / heated tank, everything, And
The heated creamer's
I
25.
know Doug said he has the big one, which is the
36 is for 31 heated.
that's the one I have.
You've got the 36-gallon one?
Yeah. Yep. And I'm
Look.
guessing that's the same one that Doug has because he said he has the bigger one.
No, they make a bigger one than that.
Did they make a 58 or something like that?
Well, you said it almost holds a barrel, and a Canadian barrel is what, 40 gallons?
60.
60
Well,
gallons.
45 gallons. About 650 pounds, roughly, in a barrel. And it won't quite take the barrel. I'm just wondering, I've got a license.
Yeah, it'd be the 70-liter probably then. They do have a bigger one. You're right.
That's my uncapper right there. See, I could have got that big creamer. The uncapper. But anyhow, I like talking about that stuff. Wishes and dreams.
200 liters. How many gallons is that?
208 liters is a 45-gallon drum.
Lyson have a 50, 100, 150, and a 200 in their catalog here.
200 liters is 52 gallons.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
U.S.
Okay.
gallons.
208 is 55 gallons. That's right. U.S. gallons. Which is 45 Canadian, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
10, 20, yeah, it is. So,
Don't everybody speak at once. It's not like we're on live or anything.
we're on live? Are you kidding?
Well, you put a shirt on.
I had a shirt on
mixed a
before.
drink, so I know we're live.
I had a shirt on before.
He says,
It wasn't quite as nice.
not that kind of live.
Our names aren't up there, Bob. They're not.
Bob should know better than to surprise me with that. Right, Bob?
Yeah. Nothing like first thing in the morning, a shirtless Brad on the stream. I think, I don't know why it resets sometimes, but usually like it defaults to the names up there. And I know Lee's set up a thing for tomorrow, so maybe he changed something. So I don't want to change it now and mess his stream up for in the morning. So, but yeah, there's all kinds of things. I'll tell you what, though. If I lived close to these guys like you guys do, or some of you guys do, it'd probably be different, because what I've paid in shipping for the equipment I've got from Betterby, I could have bought another piece of equipment, you know, for sure. And I swear to you, if Dennis, if you're watching, if you don't come and get this other tank soon, I'm listing it up online. I'm just saying, I've given you 6 months and you haven't come and got it. I've been holding it, and it's going to go away soon. So there you go. Fair warning. But that's the other uncapping tank I have, and the other uncapper, other steam uncapper. So if you're in the market and want to drive to South Carolina, I'll help you load it on your truck.
I don't think you have a problem selling it, Bob.
They could ship it to me, Bob.
Oh, I would hate to know how much that would increase the price.
Well,
Probably crazy.
you could cut it in half and put it on,
And then you can just weld it back together when you get it.
I forget what that was about. I forget. Somebody cutting an extractor in half. Was that
Robert cut an extract. It was an extractor that was cut.
I
Or
just
part of
remembered we talked about that.
So anyway, guys, it is 12:30 a.m. here Eastern time. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream, and make sure you watch Lee's stream in the morning, and Tim and Hannah's tomorrow evening.
Yeah, what was that? 10 Central?
10 Central, 11 Eastern time.
Okay.
So, all right, guys. Well, everyone have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
And we'll talk to y'all later.
Good night,
Take it
everybody.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.